Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44. So I want to kind of comment on Patrick Beverly's response or apology to CP3. He just said, basically, in paraphrasing, "I'm sorry, man. That wasn't meant for you." You know what I mean? It was just, uh, emotions got the best of him. He was upset about the loss, and I mean, he's been taking a lot of backlash today. You know what I mean? And it probably would be best for him to try to issue some type of apology of some sort to try to, just stop the bleeding. I mean, obviously, his job may be on the line at this point. That type of display, pushing somebody in their back when it's a timeout. I mean, there's no one's even playing basketball at that point. You just ran up to a guy and just pushed him in the back. So there's a lot of different things that could happen there. I'm sure his lawyers contacted him. So it's a lot to consider, man. And I don't think Chris Paul is going to take it crazy to a crazy space. But the NBA and the teams may wonder if he's going to be volatile. The thing the NBA is trying to guard against, and I've mentioned this myself, and I'm sure everyone else has too, is having another Malice in the Palace situation, or having something worse take place that they can't control. We can't have players attacking players when the game ain't even happening. Stuff happens on the street, whatever. If somebody gets into it in the parking lot, that's a different story. But on camera, I mean, that's a bad view for got kids watching, man. That's not the type of thing you want kids thinking is okay, bro. Like, that's when it becomes a situation where, are you a role model? Maybe not, but do you have a responsibility to not be a detriment to children? Yeah, there's a fine line there. And I think that conversation is necessary too. Just as human beings, just as grown-ups, we got to remember kids are watching, bro. Maybe you pushed Chris Paul in the back. Maybe the next kid tees off on somebody. Maybe he pulls out a gun. Like, you don't want to set the precedent on a professional level, especially if you're the NBA, that this is the type of sportsmanship that we want our others, everyone else behind Patrick Beverly to follow. And I know that takes it to a level that's a lot bigger than what people want to consider, but I'll take it there because I know the NBA is thinking that way. They're going to think about their bottom line, and they will not have somebody in uniform that's going to affect that. So Patrick Beverly needs to understand some things. I know he let the emotions get the best of him. Listen, in the spirit of full disclosure, I've been in positions where I lost control myself. Sometimes, some of us, we just need to do a better job of doing what we need to do leading up to those moments so that we never find ourselves in those spaces to begin with. Meditate more, smoke a little more weed, whatever you need to do, bro. Get your spirit right so that you never even get to that space. Because that's what happened to Patrick Beverly. He just allowed himself to the emotions of the game and the fact that he wanted it so bad. Maybe he and Chris Paul have been getting into it. Chris Paul has a way of getting to you, not just today, but like every time you see him. So that could have been piling up. I mean, hey, his back was against the wall. His season's over. You get it. Not everybody's balanced mentally. We respect that. But we all have a responsibility, especially people who are on camera, at any capacity, to remember that the unknown is on the other side of that camera. And sometimes it may be children, impressionable minds, people who think much more extreme than you, who will see what you do and say, I can do some version of that, and it'd be a lot worse. Straight up. Maybe even done to you. So, it's gotten to a point where you're starting to see these type of things with Patrick Beverly. Obviously, everyone remembers what happened with Russell Westbrook. Knocked Russell's career kind of loose for a couple of years. He wasn't himself for a bit after that injury. Of course, we've seen the best him lately, so we know he's back. But that thing knocked him for a loop, man. That injury had him out for a while, and he wasn't himself for a little bit. So it's like, Patrick Beverly, here we go again, man. It's like, come on now. How long do you think the league gonna allow you to be in the league doing this kind of stuff? How long do you think they gonna let you do it? The reason why it works for my main man, Meta World Peace, is because he admitted that he had some things to work on, and he allowed us in on his journey. You know what I mean? That's why it worked. That's why he was able to turn his image around. And of course, he did much worse things than a guy like Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly ain't never did nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, Patrick Beverly kind of has the same problem in terms of the image of how people view him and what they think is his how he look at the world and how he behaves. And it's like, brother, you work too hard. We all know Patrick Beverly's story. You work too damn hard to let it fall apart before you're ready to walk away from the game. You know what I mean? And we've seen too many examples of people not keeping their cool, keeping their stuff together, you know, and crashing when they have a lot on the line. You know what I mean? Crashing out. Listen, this ain't the worst version of that, of course, but like I said, we know that this goes on. So it's like we gotta just, first of all, take care of one another. I look over at a guy like Frank Kaminsky and I say, man, what do they have you there for, bro? I'm kind of on with a guy like Michael Rappaport when he say, what are you there for, bro? If you're not there playing no basketball, you didn't get no minutes in the series. You 7 feet tall, bro. Somebody walks up to your teammate, pushes him in the back, basically assaults the man. You feel me? And the best you can do is a little light tap on his shoulder. Like, this is supposed to be NBA basketball teammates. And I get it, Chris Paul is kind of away because he's the Players of the Basketball Association and he just got there this season. So it's not like you gotta, you know what I mean? It's not like he did this to somebody that's been on the team for 100 years and you close to that person, they tight. I get it. You know, I get it. But you can't let yourself be seen in that light. You got to at least look like you're a little upset, man. You got to at least look like you're ready to defend your teammate. That type of stuff can be the difference between being on a team and not. It don't have nothing to do with whether or not you can play basketball. If you can't be part of the brotherhood that keeps this thing together, that makes people want to run through a brick wall for one another, if you can't display the right things in those moments, I can promise you're going to have a hard time getting on teams. And this is one of those small moments that people will very much remember. This dude did not have the homies back at all. Barely, rather, because he did tap him a little bit. But, like, you're the guy who don't get no minutes. So you're the one supposed to sacrifice. That's how it's looked at. Devin Booker can't do that. You hear anybody saying Devin Booker should have punched the hell? No, Devin Booker ain't punching nobody. The whole city of Phoenix needs Devin Booker to be upright and ready to go for every game of the finals. He can't do it. You see what I'm saying? He's too important. But Frank Kaminsky, with all due respect, bro, you're not playing. Patrick Beverly's my height. You need to push that man to the ground. He should never feel like it's okay. You should be standing over him, making him feel like he's in danger at that point. He should never, ever be able to push your point guard, the best player on your team, the guy who's going to win your ring for you, with the company, of course, Devin Booker and other great players on the team. But this is the guy. You're going to let somebody push him in the ground? Push him in his back on some dirty stuff and it ain't even anybody even playing? You walk into your bench surrounded by his team. Bro, you would want somebody to act crazy if somebody did that to you. All of us would. Now, I'm not saying you got to be violent. I ain't saying you got to do something to get yourself suspended. But the referee can't be the guy being physical when your 7-foot self is right next to the situation. That can't happen. That can't happen. It's a bad display. It's a bad look on you as a player. It really is. It's actually conversation today because of how bad you looked in that situation. Other players around, again, their values on the team, unfortunately, as it pertains to these playoffs, vary. I don't want Ayton to do that. I don't want Bridges to do that because those players are needed in the series next. You're pretty much the only one who can go out, can do it. That's what it really came down to. And everybody on the team is important. They would have told you the right things to say after you do something like that. Oh, you can't get involved. You can't get off. They would have fined you. Sure. But I promise you, you would have no problem getting on rosters. Because people will remember, yeah, when homie pushed Chris Paul, nah, they didn't let that happen. He made that work. He gave him fists for that. There was no way he let Chris Paul go to the ground without him being an enforcer in that situation. Let me get this guy on the team. We're going to give him a 10-day when he's like 37 years old because we know he could at least be an enforcer if nothing else. You're 7 feet tall, man. You need to be that. And I'm not just talking to Frank at this point. I'm talking to anybody on the team, especially if you're not a star. You got to be an enforcer if you're big, bro. In this league, got to be. If you're on the back of the bench, if you ain't there for situations like that, you probably ain't there at all. And mind you this ain't no regular game. You just beat the other Eastern Conference final opponent. You're going to the finals, and he's doing this to your best player. This your livelihood. This your championship on the line. How much do you guys make off of championships? How much bonuses do you get? How many endorsements come your way? And this guy's going to push the best player on the team to the ground right in front of you? And you ain't take offense to that? I don't give a damn if I like that guy or not. Mind you this, that's another thing. I could give a shit if I like Chris Paul. It's what he represents to the team, to me. If nothing else, if I'm selfish like that, to me. And you ain't messing up my money because you hurt this dude and now we can't win. Nah. I'm going to beat your ass, Patrick Beverly. I'm going to make sure you at least feel my presence. And then a little light tap. He didn't do no light tap to Chris Paul. Nah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Not everybody wired like that. I get it. Maybe I'm going too far into it. I don't know. But I just felt like nobody else could responsibly respond. Because they're all too important. And as far, bring it back to Patrick Beverly, the man who caused this action. The person who created the environment for which all this took place. Shame on you, bro. At the end of the day, shame on you. Get your head together. I don't think you did this maliciously, like you were thinking, let me do something that's going to make me look like this. I don't believe that. This happened in the spring of a moment. It's about what we do around those moments and getting our shit together that leads us up to those moments that allow us to have self-control. And that's the type of conversation that a guy like Patrick Beverly needs to have. It's not really about, shame on you, you did some fucked up stuff. No, it's more so about, okay, this is what you need to work on to assure that you don't allow yourself to be seen this way no more. These are the steps you need to take to assure that you have more control over yourself so that you're not a detriment to others and yourself. And you figure out what those are. Now, I'm not that guy. I don't know. I have no idea. I probably need that type of help myself. But because of it, I think I know what it is he needs. So that's what it is, man. It's about here. So we're working on here now. Because it's going to affect your bottom dollar. It's going to affect your bottom line. It already has. I'm pretty sure. And the sad thing is you were playing great. You had gained people's respect in these playoffs. Even though you were doing all the antics and stuff like that, you had gained people's respect because you had once again shown us what we known about Patrick Beverly, that he's a dog, he gonna go hard, and it ain't just all talk. He gonna show up in some games too. He gonna play some too, especially if he's healthy. And you threw all that away. Whether you meant to or not, you threw all that away. You took maybe 3 steps forward, about 4 steps back, man. It's bad. It's bad news, especially at your age. It's bad news. It is what it is, man. The apology was necessary. I don't think nobody was sitting here saying, oh my God, Patrick Beverly didn't mean it. I think people look at you and say, we expect this from Patrick Beverly. I think that. And I think that's unfortunate. I think you need to change that. I've seen Meta do it. He turned that around. I'd like to see Patrick Beverly turn that around too. And he may need a little help. It ain't gonna just be him doing it on his own. He's gonna need support from his people. Don't turn your back on this dude because he made this decision. This mistake. If you have support for the man, it's time to support the man. My name is BDL44. That's what I got. I'm out.